Hello students, in present video I am going to explain about 13th problem from accounting for not for profit organizations topic. I am taking this question from Telangana State Telugu Academy Inter Second Year Accountancy Textbook. But this video is useful to all commerce students who want to know about this topic. Previous videos links are available in the description box. Let us see the question first. The Sri Veda Literary Society gives you the following receipts and payments account for the year ended 31st March 2020. I have shown this receipts and payments account on the board. Receipts and payments account for the year ended 31st March 2020. So current year last date is 31st March 2020. Means current year starting date is 1st April 2019. So financial year they are following. If 1920 is the current year, then previous year is 1890. Next year is 2021. See, this is the receipts and payments account. Debit side receipts, credit side payments. Below to this, he has given some additional information, adjustments. And finally, what is asking? Prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet from the above information. So first, income and expenditure account. Then we prepare balance sheet. So in previous problems also, I have explained the differences between receipts and payments account and income and expenditure account. In receipts and payments account, receipt side, they give capital receipts, revenue receipts, both. Nothing but capital incomes and revenue incomes both. So capital income means rare income. Revenue income means regular income. In income and expenditure account, credit side, income side, only revenue incomes we should show. So capital incomes we have to show under liability side of balance sheet. Similarly, payment side. In receipts and payments account payment side, he gives capital expenses, revenue expenses both. Capital expenses means rare expenses. Revenue expenses means repeated expenses. So these expenses in income and expenditure account, debit side we have to show expenses. Which expenses we should show? Only revenue expenses. Capital expenses in balance sheet under asset side we have to show. So what is the heading for income and expenditure account? Income and expenditure account of Sri Veda Literary Society for the year ended 31st March 2020. When we are preparing balance sheet, here you have to write as on 31st March 2020. For receipts and payments account and income and expenditure account, you have to write for the year ended. Okay. First payment side we'll see. Means here debit side. Only revenue expenses we should take. Capital expenses we should ignore because in balance sheet under asset side we are going to take them. First one is gardener's wages 2000 rupees. Wage regularly firm pays to gardener. Means this is repeated expenditure. Means revenue expenditure. So debit side we have to show. And there is no adjustment related with that gardener's wages. Therefore 2000 directly in outer column. Debit side to gardener's wages. 2000 rupees. Next, furniture 3500. Furniture is fixed asset. Payment side, fixed asset name is given. What is the meaning of that? In current year, firm purchased furniture and firm paid money in return. So furniture purchase. Furniture means fixed asset, no? Do we purchase fixed assets regularly? No. So it is a rare expenditure. Means capital expenditure. In balance sheet under asset side we have to show this. So here we should not ignore. Next, rent 1500. Payment side is giving rent. Means rent paid expenditure. Every month we pay rent. Means revenue expenditure. Debit side we have to show. There is no adjustment for this. Therefore, rent directly in outer column 1500 rupees. Next, salaries 4000. Same. Every month we pay salaries to employees. Repeated expenditure, debit side. Two salaries. No adjustment. So 4000 in outer column. Next, price expenses. Actually speaking, price expenditure is a revenue expenditure. Means we have to show on debit side. But in this problem, receipt side, price fund is given. No? So when price fund is given along with the price expenses, then these two amounts in balance sheet you have to show, not here. Therefore, even though price expenditure is a revenue expenditure, we should not show here. Ignore. Next, general expenses 2800. Regularly we pay this. Therefore, revenue expenditure debit side. To general expenses 2800. Next, books purchase 2000. So in NTC, in accounting for not for profit organizations topic, books should be considered as fixed asset, just like furniture. Suppose you take library. So in library, when they purchase books for more than 1 year, they use them. Anyway, if they purchase books for reference purpose, they use them for long period. Means it is a capital expenditure, not in present account. Ignore. Next, health camp expenses 4200. So regularly they conduct health camps. So regularly they incur this expenditure. Means this is revenue expenditure. So debit side we have to show. But in present problem, once you observe receipt side, donations for health camp is given. In this case, donations for health camp and health camp expenses, both in balance sheet under liability side you have to show. Not here, therefore ignore. Next, balance. This is closing cash balance. Current year is 1st April 19 to 31st March 20. No? On 31st March 20, in this organization, they have 3800 cash balance. Closing cash balance. In closing balance sheet, under asset side, you have to show that amount. Not in income and expenditure account, so ignore. Payment side completed. Come to receipt side. Means in income and expenditure account, credit side. What is the difference? Receipt side, he has given capital incomes, revenue incomes, both. Only revenue incomes you have to show here, not capital incomes. First one, balance 4800. So this is called opening cash balance. Cash balance on 1st April 2019. If you prepare opening balance sheet, under asset side you have to show this. But in present problem, we need not to prepare opening balance sheet. Why? See the fifth adjustment. Society had the inverter value of 3200 and the capital fund of the society 8000. Capital fund is given in the question. Therefore, we need not to prepare opening balance sheet. So, this opening cash balance 4800, you need not to take anywhere. Simply ignore. Next one, subscriptions 10,000. So this is not for profit organization now. So when a member joins, to continue his membership, regularly he has to pay subscription amount. To the firm, this is income, regular income. Therefore, revenue income, credit side you have to show. By subscriptions, 10,000 rupees. Amount in inner column or outer column, it depends on the adjustments. If adjustments are given, 10,000 in inner column. If adjustments are not given, in outer column. Adjustments are given, no? So in inner column. First adjustment is outstanding subscriptions for current year 1500. Outstanding word he is using for subscriptions, for income. Means here the meaning is subscription to be received. So for current year, subscription received is 10,000. To be received is 1500. Receipts and payments account is prepared under cash basis. Means when cash comes, debit side we have to show. When cash is going from the firm, credit side. But income and expenditure account we prepare on accrual basis. Means not only received incomes, incomes to be received also we should consider on credit side. Not only paid expenses, expenses to be paid, nothing but outstanding expenses also we have to consider on debit side. Therefore, that 1500 you have to consider here. Plus to be received. You can write outstanding word also. 1500. Total in inner column because one more adjustment is given. Second adjustment. Subscriptions received in advance 1000. Current year is 1920. No? Next year 2021. So 2021 subscription amount 1000 also we received in current year, and that 1000 is included in this 10,000. We are preparing income and expenditure account to know the current year surplus or deficit. If you want to know current year surplus or deficit, only current year incomes, current year expenses we have to show here, not next year amounts or previous year amounts. If next year or previous amounts are included in these amounts, we have to subtract them. Therefore, this 1000 we have to minus received in advance 1000 rupees. Net amount in outer column 10,500. Next, price fund. So as I said earlier, price fund, price expenses, both in balance sheet we have to show, not here, ignore. Life membership fee 2000 rupees. So a member, to continue his membership, regularly he pays subscription. Suppose total subscription money as a lump sum at a time he paid, that income is known as life membership fees. This is to be capitalized. So it is to be treated as capital income. Capital incomes in balance sheet under liability side you have to show, no? Not here. So ignore. Next, entrance fees 500. Entrance fees means when a member is joining, he has to pay initial amount. To continue the membership, he is paying subscription. Starting time, when he is joining, he has to pay initial amount, that is called entrance fees. So if amount is small, treat that income as revenue income. Means show here only, credit side. If amount is big, treat it as capital income. Means in balance sheet under liability side you have to show. But here clearly is giving one instruction to us. Sixth point, entrance fee not to be capitalized. Means we should not treat this entrance fees income as capital income. Clear instructions are given. If it is not capital income, then what is left? Revenue income. So revenue income's credit side we have to show now. Therefore, entrance fees you have to credit. By entrance fees 500 rupees. Donations for health camp. So donation means if anybody voluntarily gives some money to us, that is called donation. Donation is of two types, general donation, specific donation. Suppose he has given only donation word, then it is to be treated as general donation. Firm can use that money for any purpose. And accounting treatment for general donation is, if amount is small, treat it as revenue income. Means credit side you have to show. If amount is big, treat it as capital income. Means in balance sheet under liability side you have to show. Donation for a health camp. This is called specific donation. Because for a specific purpose we are collecting this money. This 4,500 to conduct a health camp only we should use, not for other purpose. So for specific donation, accounting treatment is, irrespective of the amount, you have to treat it as capital income. Amount may be small or big, it doesn't matter. So specific donations always you have to capitalize. Treat it as capital income. Means in balance sheet under liability side you have to show. Not here, so ignore. Next, sale of newspapers 700. Regularly we sell. Therefore, this is revenue income, regular income. Credit side. Sale of newspaper 700 rupees. So receipts and payments account amounts we have taken. Not only that, adjustments also you have to take. See the first point, outstanding subscription for current year completed. We have considered that. Second one, subscriptions received in advance 1000 also completed. Third one, value of books on 31st March 2020 1800. Payment side, he has given books purchased 2000. So in current year, we don't know the date. In current year, we purchased books for 2000. Here books are to be treated as fixed asset, no? So fixed asset value is 2000 rupees. And at the end of the year, value became 1800. Fixed asset value decreased. Two possibilities, maybe depreciation or during the year we sold some books. And regarding sale of book, there is no information. So this difference 200 is depreciation. So general way of giving depreciation adjustment is, he gives one fixed asset name and in adjustments provide 10% depreciation, 20% depreciation on that fixed asset. In percentage forms, he gives depreciation. No? But this is the indirect way of giving the depreciation. Any fixed asset is purchased during the year and at the end of the year it's balanced. If these two are given, then you have to compare these two values. If year-end value is less than purchased value, then the meaning is difference is depreciation. You will get one doubt. Suppose year-end value is more than this purchase value, then what it is? It is an appreciation. Okay, so depreciation debit side we have to show because loss, appreciation credit side we have to show because gain. Income and expenditure account is a nominal account. No? Nominal account rule I am following here. Nominal account rule is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. As depreciation is a loss, debit side we have to show that. To depreciation on books, show the calculation here. Books are purchased for 2000 rupees, but books closing value, closing balance is 1800. So difference 200 is to be treated as depreciation. Sometimes he gives opening balance also. Books of opening balance, closing balance. Then opening balance first we should take, purchases we should add, from that amount closing balance we should subtract. Then depreciation comes. Next, fourth adjustment. The furniture was purchased on 1st October 2019 and it is to be depreciated by 20%. So for furniture, directly depreciation percentage is given. And furniture is purchased for 3500, no, credit side he has given and is giving date also. Purchase date is 1st October 2019. For any fixed asset, when purchase date is given, there the meaning is while calculating depreciation, number of months also we should consider. They purchased on 1st October 19 and we are preparing final accounts of this firm now. Final accounts we prepare at the year end now. So from purchasing date to year end, how many months are there? 1st October means October they used October, November, December. In 2020 year, January, February, March. So in current year, 6 months they use this asset. Therefore, depreciation we have to calculate only for 6 months. Depreciation debit side we have to calculate now. 2. Depreciation on furniture. Show the calculation. Furniture value 3500 into rate of depreciation 20% means 20 by 100 into 6 months we used 6 by 12 because in 1 year 12 months are there. $350 is the depreciation amount in outer column. Next, fifth point. Society had the inverter value of 3200. Inverter is one fixed asset. Fixed assets we need not to show in this account now, ignore. And capital fund of the society 8000. Capital fund in balance sheet under liability side we have to show, not here, ignore. Sixth point, entrance fees already we have considered. So everything is completed. Receipts and payment account amounts and adjustments also we have considered. Finally, we have to calculate surplus or deficit. For that, debit side total, credit side total, you have to calculate in rough. Credit side total is 11,700. Debit side total 10,850. Difference 850. Credit side we wrote incomes. Debit side expenses. Income is more than expenditure. So the difference is known as surplus. Debit side total is less. So debit side we have to show this amount. 850 rupees. To surplus. Two sides write down the highest total. Credit total 11,700. Income and expenditure account is completed. One point to observe. In test book, he has given surplus answer as 2,450. It is not correct. Surplus correct answer is 850. So that is printing mistake. So income and expenditure account is completed. Next we have to prepare balance sheet. Heading is balance sheet of Sri Veda Literary Society as on 31st March 2020. This is closing balance sheet. Liabilities amount, assets amount. Liability side, capital incomes we have to show. Rare incomes. Asset side, capital expenses. Rare expenses we should show. First payment side means asset side. Gardener's wages, revenue expenditure, ignore. Furniture, capital expenditure, no? Here. Don't start with the buy because this is not an account. Furniture, value in inner column because recollect income and expenditure account. Depreciation is there, no? Furniture value 3,500. Depreciation we have to subtract. Minus depreciation. We have calculated an income and expenditure account 350k, that amount. Remaining amount in outer column 3,150. Next, rental, revenue expenditure, salary, price expenses, general expenses, books purchased. Books are fixed assets, no? Here only 2,000 rupees in inner column because for books also depreciation is there. Books 2,000 minus depreciation. In income and expenditure account we have calculated, no? 200k. Remaining amount in outer column 1,800. Closing books balance. That only has given here. See, value of books on 31st March 20, 1800. How that 1800 came? Show in inner column. Books value 2000 minus depreciation. Next, health camp expenses. Under liability side, we have to show that. Balance. This is closing cash balance, asset side. Don't write balance word. Write down cash. 3,800. Payment side completed. Come to receipt side. Means here liability side. Only capital receipts we should take. Opening cash balance, ignore. Subscription revenue income, ignore. Price fund. So all funds are to be capitalized. Means under liability side we have to show this. Price fund amount 3,000. Don't start with 2 because this is not an account now. Price fund 3,000 in inner column we have to write. Why? Because price expenditure is given, no? 1,700. If a price fund is not given, then price expenditure is to be treated as revenue expenditure. In income and expenditure account, debit side we have to show. But when you are maintaining a fund, related to that fund, if any expenditure is incurred, then that expenditure we have to subtract from this fund in balance sheet. Therefore, price expenses we have to subtract. 1,700. Remaining amount in outer column 1,300. Next, life membership fee 2,000. It is always capital income, so liability side 2,000 rupees. Next, entrance fees. We should not capitalize that. That is why in income and expenditure account we have shown that. So ignore. Donation for health care. Specific donations are to be capitalized now. Here only. Amount in inner column. Why? Because health camp expenses are given now 4,200. So if donations are given and related to that donation amount, if any expenditure is given, then that expenditure is to be subtracted from this donation. So minus health camp expenses 4,200. Remaining donation amount in outer column 300 rupees. Next, sale of newspaper is a revenue income, not here. So receipts and payments account amounts we have completed. Come to adjustments. First part, outstanding subscriptions for current year 1,500. Income to be received. No, this is income to be received is an asset. So asset side. Outstanding subscriptions. You can write subscription to be received. That is also correct. 1,500. Next, subscriptions received in advance 1,000. Next year income now only we received. Income received in advance. This is one liability. Because without giving the benefit we received the amount, we are liable to other party. So liability side 1,000 rupees. Subscriptions received in advance 1,000 rupees. Next, third point, value of books on 31st March 2020 completed. Next one, the furniture was purchased on, this is also completed, Fifth one, society had an inverter value of 3200. It is an asset, no? Asset side. Inverter 3200. Next, and capital fund of the society 8000. Capital fund liability side. Amount in inner column 8000 rupees. In income and expenditure account, surplus is our answer, no? If surplus comes, we have to add that to capital fund. If a deficit comes, we have to subtract. Surplus, we should add. Plus surplus, 850. Total in outer column, 8,850. So, everything is completed. Sixth point, already in income and expenditure account, we have considered that, no? Everything is over. Finally, two side totals we should calculate. Liability side total is 13,450. Asset side also same total. Thus, in balance sheet, two sides total should be same. Then only our problem is correct. So this is all about 13th problem from this topic. Hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you.